So, last session, deep in the forgotten sanctum of a veil-ridden vault, the party placed the final gifts, each one a shard of ancient memory tied to the fractured seal. As the glyphs locked into place with humming resonance, arcane rings spun beneath their feet and a bloom of light flowed through the chamber. From that radiance rose the echo of an ancient scholar, Norin, the elf that you were looking for, who revealed truths that were long since buried from his research. He said the veil is not a wall, it is a breath, it is a rhythm, it is a boundary of will. And through his research and what you learned, he showed the birth of the very first Wolf King, a guardian of the veil who was called Calador of the Last Flame. He was a noble warrior who was thence corrupted. And then he showed you 3 options that you had from potentially rejoining both halves of the seal. You could kill the beast and let the curse continue. You could banish the Wolf King and the Eternal Shadow back to the Veil forever. Or you could sever the bond and end it for good. And the party chose, let's sever the bond and let's get that motherfucker. Let's kill the king. So as Norin faded into the lattice of memory, the vault began to collapse. The structure became unsound and everything was disintegrating around you. And then you tried to make your escape. You fled through the ever-winding tunnels and managed to get out with a few wounds. You managed to, unfortunately, I think Thord got a few hits from some debris. I think Fenric helped him out. Tempest led the way as she was flying, I believe. I think you all cast fly on yourselves, if I remember correctly. And then you made your way through a bit of an ancient forest as you found yourself in the Valley of Fallen Leaves. And you were not alone, as several elven guardians had stopped you in your path. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we pick up. So, as you are in the woods, as you see everything takes a moment to stand still as time slows, as you look around the trees and you see up in them high, dressed in sort of dark greens and greys, these elven warriors, bows drawn, as they stop you dead in your tracks. What are you all doing? Let's go around the table. Let's start with Elle. What are you thinking? What are you doing as you finally come out of this tunnel to see what is presented before you?
I think based on everything that we have gone through at this point, Elle is a little bit on guard. So she's got Lupus Mortis out in her hand. It's not like up in a I'm going to chop your head off kind of way, but it's out. So there's that light cast around her. She's a bit wary. She's kind of wondering what fresh hell is this, but she knows that they're elves and she thinks this is the right direction. So I think she's just waiting for them to make the first move.
Okay.
And holding position.
Let's go to okay, Fenric, what are your thoughts as you pull Thord from the tunnel into the fresh air, the cold air, as you see these elven guardians in the tree line?
I think in like once Fenric is fully pulled Thord like out the tunnel, like he turns around and now sees the elves kind of like watching us or kind of approaching us. Similar to Elle, Fenric pulls out his hammer, but like he is ready to hit somebody. Like he's like, it's not just a defensive stance. He's like, oh, we're doing this again now. Like, all right, let's go. Like that's his thought.
Okay. Tempest, what are your thoughts as you are the first out of the tunnel to touch ground from your as the fly begins to wear off?
She's happy to not be in the cave anymore. First and foremost, very happy to not be in there.
Okay.
She does clock the warriors pretty quickly, and so immediately she doesn't get her. Let me just remember if she has got a spear or not, or if I'm just making that up.
I'm pretty sure you did. A spear or some
I do
kind
have a
of...
spear.
There you go.
There you go. She doesn't get her spear out and ready it, but she just put a hand on it just to kind of just to prepare herself. But she doesn't necessarily want a fight to start. But also as a little nod, a little way to go. I will fight you if you want to. If we're starting, I'll fucking go. But not actively wanting to start a fight because
I didn't hear no bell. Yeah. Fair. Okay. At the ready. And finally, Thord, what are your thoughts as you're kind of being supported by Fenric? As you've been hit by debris, you're looking in fairly bad shape. What are your thoughts as you let out into the cold air?
I'm going to pull myself together as best that I can and grip the staff of the Magi that I have planted in the ground next to me, kind of look at Fenric and just nod, and then take a few steps forward and say, "Good elves, we have been set upon a path that has led us to you through a sage named Nurin. We seek nothing more than an alliance that will allow us to deal a fatal last blow to the Wolf King. We do not seek trouble with you. We seek friendship. What say you? Will you lower your bows and speak with us?"
And you see, as you say that, all of them in a very practiced unity draw the strings back in one fluid motion.
oh fuck.
And then you see 4 individuals like rappel down the tree line, as if, if you've ever seen House of Flying Daggers, as they run down the trees, very much like that, as they run down the trees. The wind stills, leaves spiral down in silent rhythm. There's golds, coppers, and amber colors of these falling as they begin to fall endlessly. You see the path before you, blocked by the elves, is a very winding path set next to a rushing river. The 4 individuals with their grey-green cloaks set down on the ground. Their masked faces show neither anger nor welcome. And as you look and see every longbow is drawn, nobody speaks at first. They let Thord's words hang in the air for a little bit. And then one of them steps forward. She takes down her mask. You see like a very sort of coppery hue skin tone to this elf, grey-green eyes. She has 2 daggers at her hips. Her eyes are sharp and unblinking, but you can't read them. There's no emotion on her face. She's just staring. It's not a stare of hostility. It's more of someone calculating, deciding what to do. And she says, "You've walked far from where we lost you. When Norrin fell, the forest went quiet. We watched, we waited, and then you vanished." She puts her hand up, and then they sort of undraw their bows and lower them slightly. There's a couple that still have it in a sort of ready motion just in case. She looks at all of you. She says, "We were ordered to follow you, to listen, to see if what the Archwarden trusted was justified. But the inner circle grows less patient with every step you take." She sort of looks around you and she says, "If you strayed, if the seal you carry is corrupted or lost, we are to take it." And she sort of looks at you and sort of measures you all, by any means. So speak. What happened when you were down there? Do you still carry it? And in what condition is it?
Who has it? Well, I think
Who does have it?
Who's ever
I think it was
carrying the
Thor,
bag of
wasn't it?
holding has it, I think. Yeah.
I think
Thanks,
Thor
Doc.
was the last one to take it.
I'll just Thord like breathes a sigh of relief. Thank you so much, Doc Shoulder, for the bits, for the advantages. We each have one.
Thank you,
Yay.
Bob.
Thank you.
The tension of Thord's body sort of lessens a little bit as he breathes a sigh as the bows are lowered. We have the seal. It is in our possession, and it is as intact as can be.
Okay. Good. You feel there's like a slight tension in the air, and from behind her, a slightly taller elf, broader, a lot bigger than what you would imagine most elves to look like, steps forward. He pushes past a couple, and you can feel his heavy footfalls. He's quite a large fella. He has a very sort of stoic expression, and he pulls out a sort of necklace with like a dark silver chain, and it has like a little gem on the end of it. And he holds it up, and you feel like, you thought especially feel like there's this strange hum of magic, and you hear like in a thick sort of elvish accent, he just looks at you and goes, "Talk is cheap. Let's see if any of you have been corrupted, or if the blood moon walks within any of you." And he holds it out as you feel like this magic sort of wash over you, as if he's searching for something. What would you like to do at this moment?
Elle will look over at Thord because she remembers that he took a lot of damage, and she feels like this is sort of intrusive that he's doing this. Is that the elf is doing this? Does Thord
Mhm.
look still like painful? Does he look bloody? Anything like that?
Thord catches your glance, Elle. I catch your glance and I just look at you and just sort of like, I just give a slight nod and just a curl of a smile towards you. And you kind of you get a sense from him that he is okay. He's been hurt, but he's okay.
She'll nonetheless take a step closer to him, and raise her axe a little bit, but still not in like an attack formation. Just kind of like the best defense she could possibly mutter with.
So are you literally going like, you're turning like that and moving towards him, or are you just like putting a hand out?
Kind of just putting a hand out.
Okay.
I'll just put up my hand as well and just say, you do what you will to validate the authenticity of our mission, but our hearts are true.
After a couple of moments, you see the large elf kind of like look to the woman that spoke before and sort of gives her a nod and puts it away. Who here can speak Elvish?
That me. Hello.
Okay. So in the back, you hear sort of like a slightly irritable voice as you see one of the four is like, looks very uneasy, as if a little bit kind of wanting to say something. And then you see like a little chatter between one of, looks like more a senior member, like says to this person, says like, will you just, we're nearly done, just calm down. And he turns around and goes, I will have my say. And he pushes past everybody. And you see from his appearance, he looks less seasoned than the others, maybe slightly younger, maybe slightly newer. And he's like, enough of this, in clear sort of common. He's like, they're not traitors. And everyone sort of looks at him like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, they're not traitors. I saw what they did. I saw what they did back there before they vanished into the vaults. I saw what they faced, and when others would have turned away, I know what they did. And you see like the woman and the larger elf look at each other and then look to you. And then he says again, he said, I don't care what orders say. We've lost too much to start turning away from those who still fight. And then he gets sort of like he gets like a stern look from the other woman, and he kind of slinks back, looking a little bit like, I've spoken out of turn. I shouldn't have spoke up. And then
And
that
Thord-
just before he, go on.
I was just gonna say if Thord could he sees this conversation happening, he appreciates this individual vouching for them, and he'll just sort of wait for a pause in the conversation, say, "We have stared down the Wolf King," and he's going to just raise his free hand and animate a minor illusion that shows the Wolf King, that the wolf that we fought in the moors.
Mm-hmm.
We were
And
ill
there's-
prepared for what we faced. But we have gained much knowledge since that battle. Do not stand in our way. Our fates lie in death, either of the Wolf King or ourselves. We have made that decision. What decision have you made?
And everyone sort of stands and stares and watches you. And then the younger member of their troop says, and you pick this up in Tempest in Elvish, and he says to the person that said to him earlier, like, calm down. He's like, if we're wrong, I'd rather fall beside them than die watching yet another prophecy rot. In Elvish.
Ooh.
You see everyone sort of hesitate for a moment. And then you see another female elf walk forward. She has like very pale hair. Her skin is very translucent. She has very like ice blue eyes. And she just takes her mask off. And she sort of looks off into the distance, into the trees. And she says, the threads are knotted. I have looked into the echo glade, into the folds where yesterday touches tomorrow. I cannot see your end, but I know who walks with you. And then she looks straight at Elle. And she says, you were taken from the halls of undeath. By her. And everyone starts to murmur and sort of like, oh. The tall elf looks very sort of like annoyed by this. The Witch of the Wilds. The Thorn Mother. The Keeper of the Hollow Roots. She is no ally of order, but she is a voice this valley still hears. And if she marked one of you to return, then your journey touches more than this war. She raises her hand, and all the rest of the elves put their bows away, slowly, reluctantly. I cannot see where you lead us, but I know this. The Archwarden must hear your truth, and I will walk beside you until it is done. And everyone kind of just sort of, you see like a relief from people's shoulders as like this kind of standoff is kind of at an end. What would you
Tempest,
like
what
to
did
do?
they say? Tempest, what did they say? What did they say? What did they say?
Uh,
They gonna kill us?
Wait, was that all of that in Elvish, or
No, just that
that-
one.
okay.
That
Just that one
argument.
bit.
Gotcha. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that one conversation, that one argument was in Elvish. So you relayed that to these guys, I would imagine.
Yeah, and that young'un who was defending us earlier, yeah, he's pretty. I mean, I think he's definitely on side. If that wasn't made completely clear.
Will you ask them if they will help us, Tempest?
I
Yeah.
do think they know our language too. They just
We have been
But-
conversing with them in common.
Yeah, but in their language might mean something more.
I'll like shit them up a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
understand you.
Yeah.
How do you know
this is a little confab behind.
Blow a little smoke up their Easters.
Sorry. What's your, how are they planning on helping us? Is that what you want us to ask?
Yeah. Or can
Right.
they? Will they? What will they do to help us?
All right. Okay. So she does that. She'll ask them. So, hello. Are you prepared to help us on our journey.
Are you asking this to anyone specifically, or just to everybody stood there?
I think to the group who have definitely specifically been talking
Oh,
to.
okay.
So was it just there's
Okay.
so obviously there's the one guy who very clearly wants to help, and there was a man.
Yeah.
There was a woman with the blue eyes.
Yeah, 2 women, 2 men. You got the young guy who spoke out, the really tall guy who scanned you with his medallion, and the 2 women, one of whom seems like the leader, and the other one seems like she's some sort of farseer type with the blonde hair.
The leader lady then.
And she sort of looks at you and she goes, "Oh, okay, you understand our language. You will
Oui,
come
oui.
with us to meet the Archwarden." And she doesn't say this back to you in Elvish. She says this in common. She's like, "Nah." She's like, You will come with us to meet the Archwarden, and then she will decide what's to be done."
All right then.
I think you'll see Elle. She's completely softened. The axe is back down at her side completely at the mention of the Witch of the Woods. And she'll just say, "We welcome any help you can give us at this point. I'm at your debt."
"And what do we call you?" She sort of looks at the group like, "Do you have names?"
Well, my name is Elle,
AKA the
Elle?
chosen one.
protector of Maloka.
She's like, "My name is Kensa." She points to the tall guy. She goes, "This is Goran." She points to the young lad, and she's like, "That's Aiden." And then she points to the blonde-haired woman, and she goes, "That is Elestrin. This is our troop." And she looks at Thord, and she's like, "What do you call yourself, Master Dwarf?"
I am Thord Kenai at your service.
"Very well. One who understands our words. What do we call you?"
I'm Tempest. Awkward handshake. Or going in.
She doesn't
for
off.
Yeah.
She's like goes like that, and she just doesn't offer the hand. She's like turns and looks at
Power
Fenric.
move.
Yeah.
Jeez.
"And one from the mountains. We know of your kind, and what do we call you?"
Venric.
"Very well.
Still very on guard. This whole thing.
Well, you will journey with us until we reach the Citadel. We have supplies, we have food if you need it. We will rest shortly, but it's a long journey. Are you prepared? Are you ready?"
We're ready, but we definitely could use a bit of a rest.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There is a grove a few miles that way. We will rest there for the night, and we have our orders. So as you are, you notice now that as you've been talking, you've basically been surrounded. These other elves have come down from the trees and they've kind of got round you. So they're like around you, sort of ushering you in kind of a let's keep moving kind of position. The Elestra, the one that looked at Elle, she comes up to you and she puts something in your hand, and as you look down, you see it's like a long sort of braided ribbon with like blackthorn and silver thread in it. And it's like, give me a history check, Elle, if you would.
Sure. Ooh, 18.
18. Okay. So you know from being, living in Lavoca and that sort of woodsy environment, usually this is kind of blackthorn and silver is kind of a sign of protection. And she sort of hands this to you, this ribbon bound in this. And the ribbon is like a very sort of nice silk, sort of silvery color. And she says, "This is not forgiveness, it is just remembrance," and then hands it to you. And then walks back to her party. As you notice that the elves fall into formation around you, you start to walk on as this valley is just, endless. The hill, it just rises up. It's a very deep looking valley with lots of trees around you, lots of cover, all that good stuff. You watch as the leader, this Kensa, she's watching you very carefully. She's behind you. She's watching your movement. She's watching how you walk. She's watching how you act. You notice that to the side, to your right, is the tall, like broad Goran, as he's called. You see he just grunts and doesn't really look at you. He's kind of slightly annoyed that nothing kind of popped off. And then you look over and you see the very young Aiden. He looks at like Thord and gives you like a nod of like gratitude for being the first to speak up. He's like, gives you like a little nod. So as you walk on, you notice that this is a very winding path, but can everyone give me perception checks, please?
$19.
7.
19, 7,
25.
25,
9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay. So the two with the higher numbers, as you're walking on and you're walking down this path, you start to realize you can't recall where you came from. As you've walked for like 10, 15 minutes, you're like, how did we get here? You remember everything up to that point. You're like, well, did we come up? Where? Entrance, what tunnel? What tunnel?
So like spatial awareness is like impaired. It's not that we are forgetting our history.
No, it's just like you've walked for 15 minutes and you're already going like, this forest doesn't look like where we were 10 minutes. You just kind of like, it's a weird kind of sense of disorientation. You kind of like, we came out of a tunnel, but I look back, I should see the tunnel entrance, and now I've looked back and there's nothing there. It's just forest. And you're like, how the fuck has that happened after 15 minutes of walking? It's like this weird distortion.
I'm just gonna elbow Tempest and just be like, back home we call this cool elven shit.
Yeah, makes sense. Sounds about right. I have no idea where the fuck I am.
I trust that we will be okay. If they intended to do us harm, it would have been done. But yes, I don't know where the fuck we are either. Well said.
Well, hopefully we'll be all right. You got a. Oh no, is Elle a ranger anymore, or is Elle? No, you're a paladin,
she's
aren't you?
Paladin.
No ranger.
I left my rangery ways behind.
I left them in the afterworld.
In that case, we haven't got a ranger with us, so
We will have to put our trust in these elven allies.
yeah, they seem all right.
Fenric seems
thank
to
you,
be
Scottish Jeff.
okay with it. I'm gonna look over at Fenric. What's Fenric doing right now?
Fenric does not look okay with it at all. But everyone,
I was being sarcastic, obviously.
Right. Yeah, I would. Yeah, just the thought of it, like, Fenric seems to be okay, and the camera pans, and he's just like,
I am not okay.
well, not okay. But he's following because everyone else seems to be like chill about it, so he doesn't want to. He's not going to cause a scene or make an issue until someone else does. But no, you can see it on his face plain as day. He's just like, I don't like this, because he knows, he's like, I can't remember where that tunnel is, and it should have been right there. So he's not really freaking out, but he's like aggressively confused.
The image that came to my mind is that Jordan Peele meme where he's sweating, whereas you know that one.
Yeah. Profusely, like, oh,
yeah.
It's that,
moment,
but with a scowl. He's like
Yeah.
nervously sweating with a grumpy face. He's just...
At this moment, this is where, as you kind of like look to Fenric, and Fenric's like looking a little bit annoyed. Fenric, you notice at the corner of your eye, this younger elf, Aiden, is kind of standing, like he's worked his way around to your side, and he's kind of standing near you, and he's kind of like looking up in kind of semi-awe kind of look, and he's like, so you saw the Wolf King?
We did. Yeah. Almost dead.
What was it like?
It was scary. It was very scary. It's for the first time in my personal life, I felt like I couldn't do anything, and I don't like that at all.
Oh. I mean, this is my first kind of ranging out of the Citadel, and I've heard stories, I've heard tales, but I've never seen anything like that. What did you do?
Whatever you heard, it's true. And we ran. That's all we could do.
You hear as you say that, you hear like a really sort of gravelly voice to your right, and Tempest, you hear from Goran in Elvish go, "Fuck it, only carrots fucking run."
Do I hear that too?
Can you speak Elvish?
Oh no, damn.
You hear like a response. You hear something get said in Elvish, like a quick sort of phrase, and then
Can I glean the tone?
Give me an insight check.
Yeah.
Something's popping off here.
It's a 15.
15. From that, you get a feeling there's a tone of kind of dismissiveness of like, sure.
Yeah. Do you have something to say?
I think he fucking does, to be honest with you, mate.
What did he say?
Something about only cowards run.
Now, why would you tell him that?
You calling me a coward?
Bit of a laugh.
He just says he's not looking at you. You hear a voice from behind you in Elvish snap out. And again, Tempest, you hear this. It's from Kensa, who's behind. She says to Goran, like, do not be stupid. And basically calls him some sort of insult in Elvish. It's like, which translates to like being pig-headed or thick-headed. Like, don't antagonize. We have orders. And he just growls and carries on walking.
I don't know what that means. So I'm going to walk up to Goran and do the shoulder tap and go, "Hey, you got something to say to me?" Like, just like, really aggressive.
He just turns around, he looks at you, and he's like, just basically just stares. He just stares at you for a second. And you see the Aiden looks and just like stands between you. He's like, "Come on, no, we've got to get to the Citadel. We don't want to fight. We've got a job to do."
Fenric.
Next time you say that in common. Only cowards speak in
And
Elvish, and then walks away.
Or at least don't be fucking stupid enough to forget that one of the party you're trying to escort speaks Elvish. Christ.
And he says in Elvish again, quite blatantly, like not even bothering. He's like, "We'll see what happens to you two," and just carries on walking.
Are you still talking shit? Like, it's just...
Fucking hell. Hey, Fenric, at least we've actually fucking attempted to get a couple of swipes on the Wolf King, so let's not worry, shall we?
At this moment, Thord, you see the Elestrin just appears sort of beside you. She just like has kind of gracefully glided up against you. Don't worry about Goran. He is very stern and unforgiving in his ways.
I know the type.
He tries to antagonize, but...
And if he continues, it will end in violence, which none of us want. As I said earlier, we are allies. Unlikely, maybe. But our fates have brought us together.
She looks at you and she's like, "Do not worry. He's on a short leash." And she looks back at Kensa, who's just looking very, very fucking annoyed and very angry. As there's been this kind of confrontation, she's like, "He'll be spoken to." and she sort of just glides back away.
I'll sidle up
Fenric.
next to Fenric. I'll sidle up next to Fenric.
As soon as you do that, you hear Fenric say to Tempest, like, "This is going to end in violence," and I kind of want that.
That's what I was
Yeah.
just saying. The same thing.
What?
This fucking guy, honestly.
Look, Goran is frustrated. And between us, ignorant. He does not understand what we've been through, what we've seen, what we've fought. Please, we must maintain the peace. We must take the high ground here. Fenric, I would love to watch you cave his face in. And maybe there will be a time for that. But we must focus our ire on our quarry, the Wolf King.
Truth is, he hasn't seen or fought the Wolf King. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Exactly.
Some of these people, it's their first time out. Like that one, and points at Aiden. So
Yes.
they have no idea what they're getting into.
We'll find out soon enough.
Oh, I want to see the look on that big one's face when he does.
For now, can we at least agree upon not escalating things with our escorts?
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you.
Why Iota? So you're traveling on for about, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour. And you start to realize that as beautiful and picturesque as this place is, it's very still. It's very, like, there's a few birds, there's a few animals, but it's very quiet. You feel as you're walking, you get the feeling that the forest is choosing where to send you, what path. As again, this weird kind of sense of disorientation. It's like something's been put on this forest that means you wouldn't be able to retrace your steps, nor, find where you were going if you ever to come back here. And then you hear like the sound of a rushing river get louder and louder and louder. And then you hear Kensa give an order in Elvish, and she's like, "We have to cross the river." And then as you stop, you see like there's a large rushing river. Unnaturally fast it's moving. You see its current is quite strong, but it's kind of strange. Can everyone give me nature checks? Give me some nature checks.
12.
12.
18.
18.
11.
11.
22.
22. Okay. That's all good enough, because you notice as you're looking at this river, you're like, this is off. It's it's flowing in the opposite direction than it should be. It's like flowing backwards, and then it's going up a hill, and then it's disappearing over, like, it's like reverse waterfall. It's like the river's rushing that opposite direction and up a hill. And then you notice that there's stones in between, like, where this river is, like, as if it's crossing, like, thick with moss, probably quite slick. But when you blink, they change position every so often.
We gotta cross this? She's asking Olestra.
Like,
Because, for example.
she's like, yes, we have to cross this river.
Well, these rocks are changing.
So-
Are they gonna change in front of us?
No, the valley is a strange place and it has strange moments like this. And she points and you see, like, the rock just go, "Yup."
Oh,
Whatever it takes.
So for a visual, this river is about 30 to 40 foot across. It's a medium to strong kind of current. And at a guess, you'd say, like, with some of the higher nature checks, The depth is about nearer the banks, like 2 foot deep to about 7 foot in the middle of the river.
I have a question.
Like, shoot.
You said 3240. Is which
30
one
to
are we
40.
leaning? How are we
I
leaning
would
closer to 30 or
say-
closer to 40?
I would say close to 40
All right, that was my question.
for specifics. And you realize that the crossing points, these stones, are about 4 foot across, and there's like, as soon as the water is flowing in the reverse direction, as it hits these stones, that's when they start to change. They start to change every so often, like when there's a rush of water and it flows and it changes. What would you all like to do?
I want to bless everyone. Everyone get around.
Oh, I can run across liquids,
Okay.
so I might do that.
I'm gonna respectfully grab Thor and put him over my shoulder, and I'm just gonna jump across this river.
Okay. So at this point, you see that the elves kind of like Morpheus leap across from one side of the bank to the other.
Mm-hmm.
They're like quite easily. You see that Aiden does it, but he sort of like stumbles a little bit as he starts to like run and then jump. So he can tell he's like, this guy's a rookie. This guy's green. He's not done this too many times. Okay, with Fenric then, do you want to give me like an athletics or acrobatics, something like that?
Yeah, I can do that.
I have something to add to this as well after this roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna do athletics because it's a +8. And I want to get across this thing.
Yes.
That's a 28. It's a nat 20 for
Ooh,
Hey, go on.
This
Okay.
dice is rolling hot for me today.
Nice. Okay, cool. And what were you going to add to that, Thor? Anything at all now? Or
Yeah,
you just going to keep it?
Thor gets picked up, and he's like scrambling to like reach into his components pouch. He pulls out this feather, and I'm gonna cast Fly on Fenric.
Nice. Okay, so as Fenric sort of takes off, majestically takes flight over
Just
this
keeps going.
river.
Just keeps going.
Yeah. And then,
Butterfly
yeah.
in the sky.
I can get twice
You know
as
how I
high.
and then hits the other side of the bank. You see, like with this sort of moment, you see like some of the elves look kind of impressed. They're like, oh, okay, interesting, very good, well done. Is this point where like Tempest is like Naruto running across the river?
Yeah.
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 Cool. Bit of spray coming up. Very cool. Nice visual. And you see like Aiden's sort of like giving like a sort of clap of sort of like, oh, that's impressive. What's Elle doing at this point as you've kind of been
Well,
left behind?
yeah, Elle said I'm gonna bless everyone, get close, and Tempest goes running. Fenric grabs Thor and goes flying, and she's like, well, fuck this. And she'll just go. She's not casting because
Okay.
there's nobody here to cast on.
So you're just going to try and get across?
Yep. Athletics,
Yeah, go for it.
12.
Okay. You turn and you watch as Elle goes to run, and then as she plants her foot, some of the bank like crumbles as she starts to fall into the river.
So being that I have fly on me and it's good for the next 10
Okay.
minutes, Fenric's gonna fly over and grab Elle.
Okay. So as you're flying, then go and give me. So let's do this then. We'll do strength from Fenric against dexterity to see if you're able to grab her and pull her as quick as you can. So if you
Saving
wanna
or
just
check?
roll, we'll go dex saving for Elle and just a straight strength check for you.
Oh no. That's a 3.
14.
14. And what did Elle roll?
3.
3.
I
Okay,
should have
so
cast bless on
would-
myself.
with that,
Yeah.
your hand goes out to grab Elle, and you just miss her hand as she goes
Jeez.
sploosh into the water. You hit the water.
And it's going this way.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Basically, she's going
That is
that way
really
and up
embarrassing.
the hill if you carry on. Yeah. So what would you like to do?
I think I'm going to chase with the current now that
Okay.
I'm flying. So now there's this giant flying man.
Okay. So what's Tempest? What are you doing at this moment, if anything?
How far? Yeah. I suppose, yeah, she'll see this is happening. I was trying to think how I could do it, but actually I could just run to get her, I guess. But I can't
What's
stop.
your running speed on water?
It's as my normal, so it'd be
Okay.
60 is my running.
So you-
60 is my
basically-
walking. I can dash for 120,
Okay.
but I can't
Right.
stop because I can. Yeah, I have to. It's got to be continual movement for me to be able to stay
Right.
on there.
So you're gonna have to like try and like flash, run past, like put your hand out and grab her and carry on running.
Pretty much.
Okay. Right. So and Thord, what are you doing at this point?
Watching.
Thord is freaking laughing. He's having so much fun right now. He's just doing like a
Jeez.
woo as Fenric is like
Iron Man it across
just
the
Iron
water.
Manning across the
Yeah.
water surface. Thord's just like holding on with one hand and just like, yeah.
Oh yeah, are you still on his
Never
shoulder?
ending
Then? Are you
story,
still,
man.
Yeah,
are you
I'm
still
on
there?
I'm riding on.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Wow. You're too heavy, Thord. I'm going down.
The elves must think we're
Um,
just the weirdest people ever.
Like,
They'd
They're
be
just
right.
like
these are
stood,
the
they're
people?
stood at the back like,
Gorin.
watching this unfold.
That Goran guy's like, if his opinion wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a look of complete disgust and derision.
But at least we're having fun, mate.
I was about to say that. Yeah, excuse us for
Hey,
having
that
fun.
stick out your ass.
Elle coughs up some
Okay.
water. Speak for yourself.
What armor are you wearing? By the way,
Shane.
Oh,
you're trying. Give me a survival check
Oh my god.
with disadvantage.
Okay. A 19 and a 20. So that's
Okay.
the
So
lowest is a 26.
26. Okay, so with that then, because obviously you're quite used to being in chainmail, you are managing to keep your head above water. You are managing to sort of keep your body up so you can be like arms out in case someone. So who set off
Tickets to the
first?
gun show.
Was it Fenric or Tempest who set off first? Are you both going at the same time, or who's going?
I think it's
Uh,
Fenric first because he was
yeah.
there. Like he missed. So
Okay.
now he's yeah.
I would imagine it was Fenric flying back that probably had time
Okay.
to sort of twig on to what was going on.
Fair enough. Okay, so Fenric then, as you're flying towards Elle, are you trying to reach down again and trying to grab her this time?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do the same again then. If you want to give a strength check, and we'll go dexterity saving throw for Elle.
I'm gonna take a picture of this because
Oh, this feels like a natural 20 to me. This feels
does.
like
it's a natural 20 for 23.
Hell yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I've got a 14
Come on, that
this time.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget we each
Nice.
have
All
an
right.
advantage from the chat from Jeff and Doc.
too.
Between the two of them, we each have one advantage.
Oh.
Woo.
Okay. So with that natural 20, then you hit. It's basically like Iron Man. Hit the water, sprays up. Is Thor still on your back? I assume you didn't put him down, so I assume he is. Yeah.
It's the whole game.
Yeah. So, and then you feel that you put your hand down, you scoop up Elle in your arm, you grab her arm as she's just like out the water, and then boom, are you like doing the Top Gun type kind of like bank turn back to where the others are?
Right. Well,
Sonic
you know what? I would
Boom.
say it's up to Thor because since he's on my back, I would assume that he's just like, all right, like hard
It's
bake.
time to buzz
Yep.
the tower.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no. We're just
Okay,
getting
so
to
you
the-
managed to
we're
get
getting to the
back
shoreline.
with
Yeah.
Elle, not that. So Tempest, I'm assuming you've watched him and you're thinking, I'll hold it. I won't do the
Yeah,
Run up the waterfall.
essentially.
Run up the waterfall.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Actually,
Cool.
you know what? Yeah, no,
So
fuck it. I'm gonna do it because it's a laugh. She'll just go, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Because she can
Okay.
also do vertical surfaces as well.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So, are you all heading back to the elves at this point?
Yeah, we've had our fun.
Yes. I'm not
So-
making any eye contact either. Just walking in.
Okay. You see,
Upset with
there's some
myself.
slight smirks and things of the like from your attempts across this river.
Just bringing out her
yeah.
shirt.
You're offered like a cloak if you want it to dry off with, if you need it. One of them offers a spare cloak.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Okay. Perfect. So you will continue your journey on. After about an hour, they'll offer you some rations and some water skins if you want it. As you know, if you haven't got it, then they quite happily provide it. And you see, like, you come to like a jagged ridge. There's like a cracked stone, like surface wall that wasn't there a few minutes ago. And you see it's like splits the forest floor. But you see it's like a very sheer surface. And you see some of the elves start to like quite adeptly, dexterously climbing up this rock surface. As you see Goran like walks past, slaps Fenric on the back and starts to climb up quite deftly, quite quickly. And he shouts back in Elvish, down again, because he's a prick. He's not going to, talk to common to you. He basically says in Elvish, come on, big man, let's climb. And just like starts like, and you see he's like cheetah fast.
I look at
up this
Tempest.
fucking mountain.
What did he say?
Come on, big go on,
Put
big
Thor
man.
back. I put Thor
like
back on my
Steve.
back. Yeah. it's just- I put Thor back on my back. Hey,
So,
fucking
so basically,
talking all this
again,
stuff.
to describe
Hate
this thing, it's like 60 foot high to the crest of where this is. You see like it's about 25 foot wide section accessible that you see they're climbing up. They've done this many times before. And you can tell, again, everyone give me nature checks so you can tell what kind of angle this is.
Is this like some sort of a settlement, or is this just a rock wall, or what?
Basically, this is like they are taking you deeper into the forest, and it's kind of like this weird mountainous kind of rock face. They've gone, right, we're going up here.
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
15.
17.
15, 17,
19 from Thord.
19. Okay, so Elle and Thord, you're looking at this kind of like rock face that they're climbing up and going over, and it's got like a good 70-degree angle on it.
That's intense.
So you're like, oof, that's intense. So
It's leg day and arm day.
You know what? I'm going to quickly, as Fenric throws me back up on his back again, I am going
Yoda to his Luke Skywalker.
Exactly. I'm going to cast Spider Climb on him,
Ooh,
which will last
okay.
for 1 hour. Let's
right.
do that. I'll just whisper in his ears. Let's show this elven prick who can climb.
Oh.
Take it
What-
to the
what's that?
limit.
Honestly, once that happens, it's like that. It's like the first episode of Gargoyles where Goliath is climbing on the side of the building in New York, and he's just
Okay.
going for it.
Okay, so this is what we'll call like the lower part of this rock face. So you'll go in the first sort of 20 foot. So if you're climbing, give me dex saves, please.
This is pretty awesome because with this spell cast on you, Fenric, You gain the ability to move up, down, across vertical surfaces, and upside down along ceilings while leaving your hands free. And you gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed.
Okay, so 40 while leaving my hands free. That's wild.
You just walk up.
Okay, well,
now-
so you don't even. Fair enough. You don't
so
even know.
now he's just
then.
He's just doing it with
He's
one
just like,
hand. Just,
Yeah.
just to be an
Bouncing
egg.
up
Okay.
the hill.
Yeah, vault.
Okay. So, Tempest and L. Then, what were your dex saves?
I was probably just gonna run up it
no.
again, to be honest.
Oh, you can run up again, can't you?
Hell.
Yeah.
Why
It's,
didn't I get anything? I showed you I am inept.
Oh my god, why did we forget about L again?
Okay, so
I can no, because you're wearing chainmail, so that is probably not gonna happen.
I
'cause
keep,
I
I
am
Oh,
keep grabbing
sorry.
Thord because
Not
they
that
are small.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
like
oil
that's-
myself up and crash to the floor and be done with this.
Jeez. Why
What is
do
it with you and oil? You and your characters and oil.
I know.
That's a
I'm on
thing.
an oil phase right now.
Yeah, you are. It's great.
Okay,
Oh,
so
shit,
Okay,
I
so-
forgot about L.
dex save then. What did you say, Ellie? She's the chosen one. Fucking see you
Yeah.
later.
She's got this. Let's go.
chosen to take the injuries.
If you do fall though, I have got feather fall.
Okay.
I think
So-
I'm falling.
It might not be falling you need to worry about, but go on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the falling that kills you. It's the sudden stop at the end.
Yeah. What's your dex save then?
That that was my dex save. Was I supposed
Sorry,
to
what
roll
was it?
something else first? My dex save was
No, no. What? Sorry, I misheard it. I didn't hear it.
Oh, it was what did I say? 8 or 9. It's not good.
9. Okay.
Use
So-
an
We'll
go with 9.
advantage.
Yeah,
yes,
you can use it.
yes.
Yeah, I was
I'm using the
like, okay,
advantage.
do that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, natural 20. So good.
Yeah.
Perfect use of
Okay.
the dex.
Thank you,
of the,
chat.
Yes.
You start to climb up, but there is certain points you notice with that natural 20 that would start to crumble if you put an amount of weight on. And you're thinking, if I went there, I'd probably cause like a rock fall, like it would crumble and things would. I'd just be like, and you could
Glad I didn't
jeopardize
put
everybody
my
else
foot
climbing up this
there.
mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you're
I almost
climbing up,
did.
you get to like the mid shelf area. You're about sort of 20 foot up, and there's like a 10-foot wide ledge where people are stopping and then continuing on. So at this point, Thord and Fenric, you make it there. Tempest, you make it there. L clambers up there. What would you like to do at this point? Are you regrouping for a second, or are you continuing your ascent?
I mean,
There's
I
a
guess it was
second
pretty
half.
seamless. So we should keep going.
So yeah, okay. So you're in the middle kind of section now. So this is the next half.
Yeah,
So this is 3
yeah.
sections. You've just done the first bit. You've got to like a 10-foot ledge to catch your breath, and then you're onto the second section.
Was everybody ahead of us right now? All the elves?
Yeah, well, everyone's like quite happily, cloaks billowing in the wind as they're like do kind of quite happily getting up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
So
Tessa
as
could
you're-
quite
Going,
easily
yeah.
with the running thing and her dash, as I say, 120 feet, she could very happily probably
Get up to the top
this
bit.
whole thing
Okay.
in one go.
Sure.
Um,
So that's what you want to do?
Yeah, and that spider climb lasts for an hour. So
if I'm seeing that everyone's, I'll probably stop just to make sure everyone's all right
you mean
on
L?
that first ledge.
The spider
Um,
climb lasts for an hour, which I didn't give you.
Okay. So everyone
So,
give me
actually,
give me
Forgot
some-
about you.
Go on.
I have a question. I apologize. So being that
Oh, sure.
like the spider climb gives me that ability, I could be able to carry both Thord and L.
I mean, how strong are you? I suppose. What's your?
I'm
do you have
so
like a
strong.
carry? Okay.
So strong. So strong.
I'm so
All right, well,
strong.
Let's do this then. Give me just a flat strength check, and then if you pass, then you can double up and have them both on your back.
Okay, 16.
16. All right. I will say you are able to do it, but you're not as quick as you were with just thought. So you are slowed. But
now I'm slowing you down.
can-
No,
You
no,
can, yeah.
it's just I just don't want anything else
Disrespect
to happen.
It's fine, L.
yeah.
He's like, why are
Okay.
you so why is there so much oil on you? Ugh.
It's like you're so slippery.
Yeah. It's like Princess Bride. Like I got one hanging from the front and the other one on the back.
Yeah, it's just like backpacking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
So as you're getting higher and higher, you're all quite capable of it. You notice that there's more roots and other bits and stuff that kind of would hinder, lesser people who would want to try and traverse this. Give me sort of insight checks, if you would.
Ooh.
Insight, you say?
Dirty 20.
Please. Okay, lovely.
Dirty 18.
Dirty
You said insight,
17.
I'm sorry.
Filthy
Insight.
18. Filthy 18. Filthy 17.
Dirty filthy.
Inside. Ooh, that's a
Very
nasty 18.
Oh,
That's a
nasty.
I love the way you said-
Disgusting.
That's a nasty 18. So you all, as you're climbing up there, you start to realize this doesn't really look like rock. This is what looks like fossilized ancestral remains of these elves
Oh, fucking hell.
Mm.
Whoa,
from
this is-
countless wars and what have you and everything else.
If there's an elf,
transformational.
if there's an elf kind of like climbing next to us, I'll just be like, "What is this place called?"
He just like looks at you and just sort of says back in Elvish something.
Uh-huh.
That's beautiful.
Could you speak common, please? Like as we're climbing. Please.
And he's just
Please.
like, basically, if he were to say, he's like, I don't speak English. He's just like, I don't
No
speak
hablo
English.
inglés.
No,
No
yeah,
hablo
no
common.
hablo English.
Should have finished those
Yeah.
Duolingo courses.
Yeah.
That green owl bear.
So you keep, yeah, yeah, like, oh, green owl bear dead, replaced by AI.
I'll whisper in Fenric's ear, do you suppose this is their uncle? Goran's uncle.
That's really specific, but I maybe I don't.
Why don't you say that to him?
I'm a little busy at the moment.
Just giving you some great
It's
treat.
I imagine Elle was like right
Burn.
there in your ear, like whispering.
It's
I'm hanging
right
on, like,
here.
What?
Yeah.
Because I feel like Elle's on the front hanging and she's
Why didn't you ask him?
Well, and then Thor does in his other ear, "Don't provoke anything."
the both of you, please. I'm trying to climb.
It's like a very sort of
Fucking start
oily ear on one side. It's like, why? So as you're getting up there, you see like you see this Aiden is like climbing up, and he says to Thord, I heard what you said,
Oh, which part?
and we call what we call this place. We call this the Ridge of Quiet Blood.
oh,
It's very,
Now
it's
we
very
know.
nice.
was there a
It's very
battle
quaint.
here?
Well, no, but we've kind of used it as like a tomb.
Ah,
It's
a
just
resting
kind
place for your
thing.
ancestors.
of.
I like
Just-
how aloof he is about it. He's just like, yeah.
I mean, that's all I know. Generations and generations, we just build and it's building until we go up there.
It's not disrespectful at all that we're like grabbing your great
Oh,
great
we climb
grandfather's
this thing all the
skull.
time. We climb this all the time. It's just fossil and rock now.
All right. Yeah, let's use them as traction material, I guess.
Aiden,
Hey, we do. Yeah.
what sense do you have of your companion's comfort level with our party? Are we in the good
Um,
graces of your people, or is our fate still
well-
uncertain?
Well, Kensa has orders to bring you to the Archwarden, so everyone else will just do as they're told.
That's lame.
So, like, what exactly is this Archwarden gonna do for us?
Well, it's not what she's going to do for you. It's what you're going to do for her.
We gotta
Yes.
talk to her and then keep going.
Well, no, you talk to her and then she makes a decision what happens to you and what happens to this war.
And this archdruid, this archwarden, what is their name? How shall we address them?
Well, her name is Silveria of House Etheris. She is basically our leader. Your Grace would do, I suppose, in your words, I guess.
Thank you for that, Aiden. We appreciate your
Probably shouldn't tell you
companionship.
too much. I shouldn't really be talking to you right now.
That's
Why?
fine.
I mean, just one more
Why?
question though. Is she gonna maybe tell us we can't go do this?
Well, no, she'll probably just take the seal from you and do it herself.
What if we really want to go with? What if we really, really want to
She-
do it ourselves?
She has the power to stop you.
We
Well-
really want to do it ourselves.
Perhaps we can do this
If she
thing
wished.
together.
That's an option.
I think we will need all of the help that we can get. And if we can
But
ally
isn't-
with this archwarden, it's
He's
all the
still
better.
climbing.
I was gonna say we all still
You
climbing
are.
because
You're climbing.
Okay.
Thor's just kind of
Oh,
hanging
I
out.
mean,
Yeah, we're just
You
having
can-
a
you can
chat on
sort
his
of-
shoulders.
you're kind of like, you can be on this little ledge before you continue your run up the wall if you want, in between climbs.
Well, like, if there's a chance that she's not gonna let us come with, I mean, is there anything you can tell us to help us get in her good graces?
Be respectful and tell the truth.
That way
She'll
we
know
won't
if
kill
you're
the Wolf
lying.
King.
She's very powerful, and she will sense and detect if you're lying. And she looks at like all of you. He looks at you like all of you, and he's like, "Our jails aren't great. You'll be there for a very long time, and we'll probably outlast you. So you probably won't go anywhere."
We have no reason to lie to your archwarden. We have no reason to obfuscate our mission and our motives. We've already shared with your leadership. We will see what fate this archwarden has for us, but we will ask for an alliance.
I mean, sure. I hope they accept.
Why is he so chill?
This offers, man.
I'm just like, hey, yeah, we're climbing up my ancestors.
Yeah.
Our,
Yeah, he's so
our-
chill.
our jails are pretty shit. And you'll stay in
He
them for a
looks
long
at-
time.
He looks at
You'll
Fenric
die
like,
there.
do you know
We
how
won't.
how
Like,
often, how hard I had to like pitch to get out here? I'm just a scribe.
what?
So you're
I begged and begged to be a ranger, and they were like, "Fine, come along." Maybe I think they want to teach me a lesson. I think they want to make sure that I don't come back again. I don't know, but
That's good.
it's been rough.
So you basically just annoyed them into giving you a job. Is what
Pretty
you're saying.
much. I mean,
Oh man.
persistence roll really works sometimes.
I do. My father is on the council as well, so
Oh,
there's
There it is.
no,
There it
fucking
is.
hell.
Nepotism.
Nepotism.
How
This guy
much-
stinks. Just climbing past him.
Now everybody's turned. Now all of a sudden, everyone's turned on Aiden. Goran
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
Aiden, you prick.
Single tear. I didn't want it, guys. No, and he's just like, I'll put in a good word. I'll say, I'll try and speak on your behalf if I can.
We appreciate
All right, we're back
that.
on his side.
Yeah.
You're on
It's
so
stage
down
fucking
all
ice
over
still,
again.
buddy.
Eh? Does the
It's
Assassin's
down
Creed
all
dive
over
off the
again.
mountain?
Oh, God.
Yeah, this son of a bitch is gonna betray us.
You'll
So
say
as you
whatever to stay in our
finally-
good graces.
get to the top of the mountain, everyone's like putting hands out, helping people up. You see a couple of hands come out to help you guys up. And you're kind of on this very like rocky outcrop at the very top of this mountain, shall we say. And you see it kind of like descends the other side into a more deeper woods. On the other side of the ridge is like a deep forest basin. You can see like there's very thick, dense roots down here, very low branches, and the trees are very squat and like they haven't had much sunlight because it's very cloudy, very foggy up here. You're sort of very damp as well as you're walking. Is a couple of times you may lose your footing if it's a bit slick and things. Would you like to all give me, are you still, I mean, you're all running down, you got spider climb and all sorts of shit, so there's no reason for you to make any checks here. So we'll say you make it to the bottom. Unless it's probably wearing out about this time, I would say, just as you get to the end of this part of your journey. So as you start to feel that it's getting a bit dusky, and you hear Kensa shout out some orders, as Tempest, you hear like, we'll rest up ahead.
Oh, thank God.
So I think that'll be a good opportunity for us to take a break.
Yeah, huzzah! We aren't dead yet.
Some of us aren't really all that tired.
And mostly Fenric.
Yeah, we've got a
Lot of
ride.
climbing. Lot of good upper
Climbing.
body workout.
Mhm.
You guys, thank you so much for all of the generosity and companionship in the chat. We really appreciate you. Thanks for the follows and the gift subs and all of the bits and all the good fun banter. We will be back in just a couple of minutes. This is Tales from the Whisperwoods on Guild Superior. See you in a few.
So, as you all get to this small glade, people start setting up like a makeshift little camp. You're kind of over to the side. You see the elves are kind of kept to themselves. There's a small fire burning. So they sort of stand and they're kind of they're watching you sort of at a respectful distance. You know, you see a couple of them kind of restringing their bows, sharpening weapons, sorting out their kit and things. There's people like putting some food together. There's a couple that will kind of offer you some bits and pieces if you want it, bread, rations, that kind of thing, if you're interested. So you notice that they have a very kind of somber feel about them. They're not like happy to be doing much of what they're doing right now. They're obviously, this mission is kind of very integral to what they're doing. They are not acting as guards. They're kind of more of an escort. They're not like trying to figure out what you're saying or anything like that. They're not like trying to interrogate you or anything. They're kind of just like respectfully at a distance, leaving you to your kind of selves as they kind of keep their own as well. So as the fire burns, what are you all guys doing? You just sitting resting at this moment and just catching your breath, yeah?
Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at this point,
Thord's gonna do, while we're sitting here, are we here for like, say, I don't know, 10, 12, 15, 20 minutes or something like that?
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I'm going to cast a spell called Comprehend
Mhm.
Languages.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And
Very good.
basically I've got like, I kind of put out a little circle in front of me, and I'm sort of like putting some soot and some salt down and arranging it in this arcane sigil. And then suddenly I can understand spoken language,
Oh, okay. Very good.
the elves, just in case they're talking about anything that
Excellent.
might be relevant.
Or smack that we need to transfer to Fenric.
Big time. Big time. Mhm.
So as you've done this and you start to listen to people, you start picking up various conversations, which you now understand. You see like the four members that are kind of technically like the leadership of this group. Well, three of them, bar Aiden. You see that Alestrin is talking to them, and you make out the words. She says like, the trees murmur warnings. This seal, it stains everything. Every step they take awakens something beneath the earth. And you see Goran, he just sat there with his arms folded. And yet the Archwarden binds our fate to theirs. Strangers. One of them bears the look of a breaker, and he sort of sort of nods his head over to where Fenric is, and he goes, I've seen it before. And then Kensa, leans forward, and she's like spinning a dagger on the floor. She's like, they walk like heroes, but they cast no shadow of any lineage, no vow, no blood oath, not even Twilightborn, any of them. Would you hand the seal bearers of prophecy to fate so easily? And then Aiden sort of is sat there looking at the ground, and he says, they fought for us. They bled for everyone's memory. Is that not enough? They took up arms? And then Goran again snaps back at Aiden. He's like, courage is not conviction. Even every fire burns bright before it eventually dies. And then Alestra, she sort of leans back, and she says, there's a branch in the river, a split. If they fail, it's not just us that ends, it's the memory of everything in this world. And then Kensa leans forward again, and she says, then we must be ready to finish what they cannot if they fall, even if it means breaking the Archwarden's commands. And they all sit silently, looking very somber at that thought. What would you all like to do? And at this point, we'll all take a long rest, so you've all can get some stuff back as you're taking in some refreshment and whatever else you want to do.
Elle's going to be looking at that ribbon that Alestra gave her. And you can see by looking at Elle that she's a little somber. Right now, she is thinking of Lavoka and her parents and the town members and everyone that she's failed. She feels like she's failed. So you'll just see her kind of turning the ribbon over in her hands, getting ready to go to sleep.
Okay. What's Thord doing?
Thord is studying spells from his book, thinking about the weight of their quests after overhearing some of those conversations, especially the comment by Alestra about how all will be lost, not just lives, but the memory of the world. That seems a little heavy, and Thor is kind of trying to wrap his mind around what that exactly means.
Okay. Tempest, what are you doing at this moment?
I'm presumably, given I can't imagine it's a particularly large space, Tempest might probably have heard the conversation as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think she is thinking to herself, "Oh Jesus Christ, Goringar is actually talking a little bit of sense." But yeah, she's kind of just going. She knows the severity of the situation, so she's again the more than just lies lost sort of thinking about that and what that means, like, is the very existence of life, time, and the world itself just gonna, or but I think she's just gonna try and focus on getting a bit of rest and trying to make sure that she's ready for whatever awaits the team.
Okay. And finally, Fenric, what are you up to?
I think he's definitely focused on taking this moment of rest, because he's trying to get himself ready what could possibly be next. He's also got this really hard stare going on at that other big guy who was giving him crap earlier. Like, he's not letting that go
Goran,
easy.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Cool,
it's mostly
okay.
just focusing on rest, getting himself ready for what potentially could be happening.
Okay. So you all have a night's rest. You all sleep through. The elves take various watches, so you don't have to do any of that. You, again, between Thord and Tempest, you pick up different conversations, talking about family, talking about future, talking about what they see themselves doing when this is all over, if it ends up going well, and all these sorts of general, just typical conversation. And you wake up early morning refreshed, and you see that everyone's starting to pack their kit up, and you see a few of them sort of nod like it's time to move on. Is there anything you want to do before you start the journey again?
Not really.
No? Okay, cool. So as you journey on, you carry on walking you start the day travel. You start to see that the valley narrows into a smaller ravine of like roots, and there's blackthorn. You feel like the air is very heavy. There's like a smell of wood smoke in the air. And after about an hour or two, you kind of being led on, you hear the distant sound of horns from afar. But it's not like a joyful, returning of the triumphant ranger group. It's more of a mournful tone. It's a very, as if it's like, well, they've completed their mission, they've returned. Nothing about it feels like upbeat. So as you start to climb up a winding path, you start to look around. You see sort of fallen elven statues all covered in like moss. You start to see like banners, like symbols and shields of like fallen elven houses and things as you continue to wind up this path of various stone ruins and things. And then you realize the mist sort of parts, and you see high above, like very nice spaced out silver sort of ash trees, like they did it been planted in the past however many years. These don't look like they've aged. They look like they're fresh, like someone's deliberately gone out and planted these amongst these ruins to try and bring some life back into this valley. And then you see like what looked like a city. Its walls are kind of being repaired. some are crumbled, some have had statues just shoved into different gaps and different, what they've used, whatever they could. Towers have kind of cracked and fallen. It's kind of like what looked like a very beautiful city at one point has just been kind of hashed together in a kind of semi-fortress type bastion. They've done whatever they could to keep this thing going with whatever they can do with what resources they have. And you notice, Thord, can you give me Arcana check, please, if you would?
Absolutely.
And some of you start to see like this like fungal type, luminescent fungal growth on some things, which is kind of giving it a weird kind of glow amongst the mist as well.
Got a 21.
21. You feel there's a sense of like protection magic in some of these walls. You can feel they've probably put like protection glyphs on some of it. So whatever happens, if it's assaulted, then you know that there's some sort of heavy magic that might protect the walls at least at some point. And as the troop gather you up to this narrow kind of bridge, it's kind of, you can see like it's charred timber that they've kind of laid out amongst on this makeshift bridge. So as you all cross it, you can feel like every heavy footfall is like dust of this timber, of like burned wood that you don't know how long ago this was, but it was obviously in some form or fashion was burnt through some kind of assault or war or God knows what, but it's just been repurposed as a repair of this once what looked like a magnificent stone artisan bridge is now being used. These fallen charred timbers have been used to repair it over time. As you arrive in the citadel of the Twilight Elves, as they march you into the city. So as the city rises around you, you can feel like it's built into cliffs and rock and things, and it just feels like this place is, the way to describe it is like it is a wound that's never really healed properly from whenever it was last attacked in the first war that the Wolf King assaulted this place. So it's just there consistently, and it's just trying to survive. You see like towers are slanted and some have just been pulled down completely to stop anything that might cause an accident or anything like that, and the rocks the stone has been repurposed for other things. You kind of get the idea that this was kind of like a jewel of what was the Twilight Elves kind of kingdoms at some point, with some of its artistry and tapestry and artworks and things that you can glean as you're walking through this city that have just kind of been taken down, stored or tossed or repurposed for various reasons. And as you're walking through the city, you pass under this really ornate archway. And for those of you who can read Elvish, you realize that this has got thousands of Elvish like runes upon it. It's like names of people that have fallen over the years that have just been etched in the stone as time's gone on. It's like more of a memorial arch they've used as they've fought on or done whatever they needed to do. As you reach this very large cathedral type building, the ranger troop stops and Kensa comes up to you and she's like, "This is where we depart. This is the Hall of Thorns. This is where the Archwarden is." And she will entertain you.
All right. Well, thank you for your guidance. Maybe we'll see you again.
Okay. Well, as I'm sure she looks over to Aiden and has told you, tell the truth and be honest, and she'll make her decision.
It's the only tale to tell. It's the honest one.
Okay. Well, good luck. And maybe we will meet again. As she turns to walk away. What would you like to do as you're left at the gates of this hall?
Is that it? Is that?
Well, like they got
Oh.
us here, right?
I believe we have much ahead of us yet, Fenric.
I guess
We probably have the biggest part of us ahead of us.
Indeed.
Does anyone else feel like they just played it up to where it was gonna be, like, and then we kind of?
Well, we scaled the wall of their ancestors' burial mound. We flew across a river that itself flowed in the opposite direction. We've been under the protection of this Twilight Elf clan, and now we stand before the gate of the Archwarden.
I
I
think
guess I
it's
just
time.
expected more fanfare. Is all.
Mhm.
They do seem quite stoic in their delivery.
I mean, look
Yeah.
at this town, though. It's seen better days. There's not a lot of fanfare that probably goes on here.
You
We
know,
just gotta put on our game faces. We don't have to
Just-
say anything unusual. I mean, we just gotta tell what happened and what we want to do. I feel like we're a shoe-in for this.
agreed. We will speak the truth and we will ask for guidance, assistance, or for them to let us be to our destiny.
Are you gonna be put in a jail if they're going to kill a Wolf King?
No. That will not happen, El. That will not happen.
Well, here we go.
Okay. So as you walk forward, you feel that the doors start to open. And you walk into what feels like a very vast, very long vaulted chamber. As you look around, you see like there's intricate artwork of like what looks like vines, and it's made of like a very crystal pattern and artwork that's very intricately designed. There's like very if it catches the light, it gives like a very nice glow to it. And you are in what's called the Hall of Thorns. And then as you continue down this hallway, you see that you feel like there's these long thorns that have come out of, like, as long as swords, that they've kind of intricately woven together. Like, you know, like you see some antlers that have been sort of mixed together. They've done that with these weird thorn-like things in the walls to give it a more of a sort of strange pattern as you walk through. And you continue on, and these torches start to light up with like a blue flame as you're walking down the hall. And then you start to see statues of warriors, of kings, of archmages, all these, you know, lauded figures in elven history as you continue to walk along.
I kind of feel like a big
And then
deal,
you-
you guys.
And then as you walk to the final end of the room, you see movement as the last torches light, and a room full of people stand and turn to you. You see a raised dais dominate the far side of the hall. You see a white tree sort of is kind of growing behind this dais up, very large, very old looking tree. And atop these steps, you see a figure, tall than most, in sort of dust, in like a very dusky kind of blue colored robes, a very tall silver mask and helm on her head. And you see everyone fall silent, and they turn and look to her. And you see someone run in breathlessly, and you see an elf, tall elf in very ceremonial armor. And he's like deep breaths, and he's like, excuse me. He pushes past a few of the elves. He goes, and he says, kneel if you value your breath. Stand if you doubt it. You enter the presence of she who guards the veil, warden of the forgotten vows, blade of the last accord, the archwarden, Silveria of House Ethereal. And everyone sort of stands and bows their head as you enter this room.
You're muted.
Lord will
I
step
think-
forward to a distance that's appropriate, and then kneel and just say, "Your Grace, we seek allegiance."
Yeah,
Elle will
Tempest
step
is
up
gonna-
too and mumble your grace and kneel.
Yeah, Tempest will do the follow suit.
Lovely. Good. What does Fenric do?
Same. I was specifically told not to cause a problem.
Yet.
Nice. Yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You feel at this moment you feel the doors slam shut behind you, and the herald steps aside and bows, and you see the archwarden descends this dais, and you see she's a lot taller than a normal elf would be, and she takes off her ceremonial helm, revealing a very cold, ageless face, very graceful looking. And she has this look of like nobility and stoicism as well. And she says, I remember when this place echoed with songs and not silence. When truth was a choice, now it is a weapon. And you, strangers, carry truth I intend to claim. You walk in shadows thicker than your own. You cross borders unseen by most and disturb relics that sleep for a reason. And now the veil trembles. Even the Wolf King turns his gaze. So tell me, wanderers, what do you know? And what are you willing to give up to survive it?
I think we have. Go ahead, Al.
No, you go.
No, please, you.
Well,
You're the
are you sure?
you're the chosen one.
Somebody speak.
I, for one, intend to give up my life if needed to end the reign of the Wolf King. We'll do whatever it takes. And I'll elbow Thord. Pull out that thing. What were you going to say?
We bear the seal. We have been guided by visions of the Twilight Elves themselves. We have traveled far. We have faced down the Wolf King, tested their might. We've seen their capabilities. We know this is no flippant task that we are on, no trivial quest. All depends on this, the memory of the entire world. We've heard it ourselves. A cry for justice across the realm. This is not the first time we've faced the evil of the Wolf King. Some of us have been fighting it their entire lives, and he'll look over at El and beyond.
You said it way better than I would have, Thord.
She sort of turns her gaze to like Fenric and Tempest at this moment.
What he said. I've been fighting the Wolf King quite as long as these two have. But I know he's a nasty piece of work, to say the least, and I would quite like to stop him from continuing to cause all the pain and suffering he has. Yeah, it's yes, like Al said, I'm willing to put my life on the line to stop this big bastard. Excuse me.
And her gaze falls upon Fenric.
What?
What truth do you speak?
I'm tired of the Wolf King being a problem. He's very, like...
She sort of takes a moment. You've been honest. That is rare and valued. Those who come in my presence usually want something, or they are a prisoner and you are neither. So, she looks to one of the veiled attendants nearby and gives like a little nod. The twin doors of the chamber to the side open up, and a couple of twilight elves in very black armor step through, and they carry a litter with them. And you notice something on there. You're not quite sure. Can everyone give me perception checks, please?
$17.
17.
13.
13.
18.
18.
23.
23. So Thord, Tempest, and Fenric, you see what looks like some chains hanging off this litter. You see what looks like somebody might be shackled. And they bring it in and they lay it down in front of you. And before you, you see a man in his mid-50s, scarred, very pale, very thin. Elle, you recognize this man.
I fucking knew it.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer hulking and monstrous. The beast is long gone. He opens these grey blue eyes and they meet yours. But you can see he has a look of shame and disgust, and he turns his head away. You look at his neck. His neck is all scarred and kind of ruined. And the Archwarden stands and says, "You knew this man as a beast, a renegade, as something no longer. But I give you Ben Corbin, soul restored. Not by sword, not by fire, but by the seal. Under the cover of twilight, we orchestrated an ambush on a travelling party of fierce lichens, successfully capturing one of their members. A hulking figure with piercing yellow eyes. The seal was never meant to be a weapon, it was a cage. A net cast across the wound in our world, drawn tight by elven rites and human blood. But as the veil decayed, so did too its bindings, and now the Wolf King walks free, and his corruption spreads. She clicks her fingers, and another small chest is brought within the room, and it's opened up, and it's her half of the seal. The Twilight elves captured this man months ago. Not to kill, but to test, to learn. His lycanthropy, twisted by the veil, was unspooled, strand by strand, by the fragments of the seal we hold. It can be done. The curse is not unbreakable. He sort of gives out like a weak, rasping breath. They broke it. They tore the beast out of me like poison from a wound. It hurt, God, it hurt. The madness is gone. The voices are quiet again. And he sort of like sobs. And she gives a nod and they pick up the litter and carry him out.
Out of the room?
Yeah,
Where are you taking him?
he's being cared for. Now, we believe your half of the seal holds the other key. United, they may undo the Wolf King himself. Not merely slay him, but unmake his dominion. End the plague that is at its source. But the seal is no longer a passive thing. It marks those who wield it. You've already begun to feel this. The veil is watching you. It is choosing you. I will not command you. I cannot. But I will ask, will you join these two halves? Will you stand where others have faltered? Not as warriors, but as wardens. The power to destroy the Wolf King lies within reach. But power does not come without a price. What say you?
Your Grace, may I rise and approach?
It gives you the come hither.
I will slowly stand and walk a few steps forward, and then I will take from my satchel this bundle wrapped in canvas and leather, and I will start to unfold it, and I will produce the seal that we have, the fragment.
And she sort of reaches out her hand and sort of touches it briefly. You will do this?
Our decision was made long ago, Your Grace. This is all that stands ahead of us. This is everything.
Very well. She takes it up, and she takes it up very gracefully, and she hands it off to one of the wardens. And they stand. And as they put the two halves together, there's like a wave of magic that goes across the room as everything's united once more. The glyphs stir. The seal awakens, and the veil, that cursed and beautiful wound, bleeds again. I have lost too much to trust, but I am not yet too old to hope. You will walk this city not as captives, but as bound. You will bear our mark, and in return the silence of our blades. As long as you propose, as your purpose remains aligned with ours. She holds, a figure steps forward holding a small brazier that emits like a pale smoke. She lifts it out, and there's like a small brand. Swear upon this ember, and I will show you what the rest of the world forgot.
I shall.
Okay. Do you hold out your hand?
Yep. I'll hold out my hand to
Okay.
it's a burning ember. Is that what this is?
Yep.
And
And
I'll
as she
just
touches
sort of
it
like,
to your hand.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not hot, it's like ice cold. As it touches. You feel like the air crystallize around it. And then you feel like the dust motes around you freeze sort of mid-fall as time begins to slow. You look down and your eyes kind of realize that this is a rune of the ember spiral. It flares bright across your hand and then spins violently like a gear unlocking some ancient machinery. A deep chime echoes through and around the room like a forge bell, and time flows again, but differently. But it's as if you've controlled it. And if you just give me a second. There we go. If you will please check your messages, as you are now imbued with the power of the Spiral of Remembrance.
I will sort of turn and look back at my companions and sort of, I'm like,
Get up here. Who's next? Who would like to? She beckons and someone else forward.
I'll come forward.
Okay. She holds out the brand again. From beneath your armor, again, you feel that coldness on your hand. You feel like red light is emanating from you, as if from a sunrise. The hand you usually hold the lupus mortis in feels like it ignites with like a radiant fire. And as you look around the room, you see like shadows escaping from this fire as you become like a beacon of light and hope. and as if it's burning the very veil away. And then as you look down, you realize that it's gone out again, as you feel you've also been marked. There you go. And if you would like to check your gift, please. As you are imbued with the oath of the final flame. Who's next?
Hell yeah.
Go on then.
That's
That's not how she runs. That's insane.
That would be hilarious if she just
She
walked
just
out
starts-
like this. Yeah. So as she puts the brand onto you again, this freezing cold sensation, you feel like you're a flame caught within a whirlwind. You feel like your body lifts ever so slightly from the ground as this torrent of flame and wind surrounds you. And you feel like it burns every bit of corruption that may have been in this room or wherever you may go. Time seems to slow. But as you feel yourself fighting something, your strikes no longer land. They cut through the air as if like a knife that's been sharply honed. Your whole body becomes like a rhythm of flame and fury. You are dancing within this whirlwind, and you return to the room. And if you would like to check your messages, as you are now imbued with the breath of the silent wind. And she looks finally at Fenric.
I don't think you have anything in that bag for me.
And she beckons you forward. Please.
He steps up.
She presses the brand upon your hand. You feel like a wolf maw open, but it's made of lava and molten rock, and it steams and hisses as you feel it coming out of your chest. Your blood is raging hot fire. You feel yourself let out a primal scream as you look around, and the crack of the ground beneath you is like an earthquake. You feel like energy surge from you as you feel like the fire of a mounting god from years long past rage within you. You are no longer a man, but a walking storm of ash and wrath, as you are imbued with the ember maw of the last warden.
Oh. Hey, that's pretty cool.
And she steps down, she sits back in her chair, and she goes, "That is the last magic I have that I can expend for this time being. You have all been imbued with a magic that will help us in the fight ahead."
Your Grace, we are forever indebted to you for these gifts that will aid us as we do battle against this veil corruption. We will do what we can to put an end to this, to the benefit of all the peoples of the forest.
Yes, thank you for this. Fenrir gripping his hands. I think this will help a lot.
Now the Wolf King stirs the veil like a blade in blackened water. Now we must choose: unite and strike, or fracture and fall. What say you? As voices around the chamber go, "Unite, unite, unite." And you hear a different voice from the shadows above you in one of the floors. Unity is a child's dream. What survives is what adapts. And as everyone looks and gasps and look up at where this voice is coming from. Fenric, give me a perception check, please.
$22.
22. You look up to see two figures emerge from the shadows on this walkway looking down into this room. And they begin to descend the stairs. Clad in rich crimson of a conqueror, a tall woman's presence commands attention, accentuated by a mantle of luxurious furs that drape from her shoulders. Armored in a mosaic of living bone, she embodies strength and power. Her muscular form is taut, reminiscent of a finely coiled rope, poised for action. Bright, unnatural hunger gleams in her eyes, contrasting sharply with her skin, which is as pale as frost on a winter's morning. Elaborate runic tattoos weave intricate patterns across her face, head and neck, telling stories of ancient battles and forgotten lore. You have seen this woman in your dreams and in your visions.
And it looks like they look like they're a welcome party amongst everyone else here.
Well, they've just walked down these stairs and everyone's like shocked and gasped.
Oh, okay.
And next to her, you see a very elegant looking figure draped in midnight velvet cloak. The fabric glimmers subtly, its lining a cascade of delicate cinder feathers that whisper secrets with every movement. Upon his brow rests a singular silver circlet. Not merely an adornment, it has the shape of what looks like a crown of thorns, tracing the contours of his sharp features. His skin, a polished, moonlit obsidian, catches the light, casting an ethereal glow around him. His expression betrays a calculated disdain, icy and inscrutable, as he weighs the worth of all who dare look at him. Everyone looks around very sharp and whispers as yet another herald rushes into the room, the same one before. Announcing her radiance, Queen Delaine Valaith, sovereign of the ninefold throne, emissary of the Crimson Accord and consort of the Moonclad Fang. And he sort of takes a deep breath. The title is unmistakable. This is the Wolf King's Queen. And accompanying her, by ancient blood and shadowed lineage, Istravir, last scion of House Arderagon, Talon Master of the Ashen Host, and Prince of the Sunken Vault. And you know this person to be the Talon Master. You have faced him on the field of battle before. He has killed your people.
And I think I turn around to, like, real quick and go, what are they doing here? Like,
There's
super
like
angry.
murmurs in the crowd. And the herald produces a scroll. They come bearing terms for peace. And that's where we're in the session there.
I want to throw something at them. I mean, you're going to end it there.
How dare you?
Wow.
Dog it.
So the people that just came in, Fenric knows who they are. He's fought them on the battlefield. Yeah. Oh shit.
The tall woman that he's always seen at the edge of his vision is stood in the room in front of him now.
And the Wolf King's queen.
Yep.
So Fenric knows the Talon Master, but
the Talon Master is like her right-hand man, her like
oh
kind
my
of
god.
Her dog.
Go do this.
Yeah. Holy shit, Shiv. Oh my god. Well,
Shiv. Jeez.
Come back next week to find out what happens when Fenric goes ape shit.
Yeah.
Woo! That's awesome, you guys.
Especially with this fucking fifth element power I just got. I'm about to go
Oh shit. Wait, what does yours do?
Let me pull it back up. So what I got was bow. Okay. The Ember Maw of the Last Warden. So I have what's called it's upgrades. So Veil Rending Rage. So while raging, I with a melee attack against a veil creature, ignore resistance to slash and bludgeoning or piercing, and my crit ranges goes to 19 to 20 against them. It also has something that's called Ashen Grip. That I assume that means once per long rest. As a bonus action, I can activate the brand and use and enter a burning grasp mode in my hands. So
Whoa.
grapples auto succeed. If I grapple against a veil creature, they take 1d10 fire damage per turn. If the target is a caster, they have disadvantage on all concentration checks. So
Damn.
yeah, I'm
The
I'm a
beef is getting seared. We're searing the beef.
right.
Oh my god, that's
He's
cool.
juiced to the gills.
What did Tempest get?
So I got combat upgrades. Ember, Breath of the Silent Wind. Flamed step technique. When Tempest hits a veil creature with an unarmed strike, she can spend one key to to force a dex save or cause a target to erupt in embers, losing its reaction and suffering disadvantage on attacks until the end of its next turn. And then once per short rest, when surrounded, which is 2 or more enemies within 10 feet of her, she may flare the brand in a ring of hot wind and flame, which pushes enemies back 10 feet. And then also she can teleport to any unoccupied space within 15 feet, ignoring difficult terrain.
Wow.
You're a firebender. We're all firebenders.
Yeah. What about L?
The
What
Fire
about
Nation
L?
is strong.
What did L
Right?
get?
Elle got some more combat upgrades, so she got Smite the Veiled. When I use Divine Smite on a Veil corrupted enemy, I deal an additional D8 Radiant, and the target can't turn invisible, teleport, or shift planes until the end of its next turn. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then also Vow Reforged. As a bonus action, I can mark a veiled creature within 60 feet for Oath Fire. So for 1 minute, my weapon attacks against it deal an extra D6 Radiant. And allies within 10 feet of me gain +1 AC and resistance to psychic damage. So party up in here.
Damn.
10 feet.
Yeah.
That's cool. I
What
got
did Thord get?
Amber Spiral of Remembrance. I have Veilburn Sigils. When casting a spell that targets a veil corrupted creature, the spell save DC increases by 1 and ignores up to 20 feet of magical darkness or cover created by veil effects. And Chrono Stillness. Once per long rest, when a veil creature casts a spell or uses a lair or legendary action, Thord can force a Chronergy Ripple. Roll an Arcana check, DC 14. On a success, delay the effect by 1 round and mark the target with glowing runes.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
That's
You have
That-
time magic.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh my god. All right, this is
the
sweet.
best magic.
Yeah,
because
it is.
legendary actions and lair actions are usually pretty easy to deal with, but
Yeah, right.
just kidding.
Well, then
The
with yours
opposite.
too, like being that you can stop a shift plane.
Yeah.
Like that's what was kicking my butt the last time
Mhm.
we were there.
Me
Mhm.
too.
Like,
That saved
oh,
his
dude,
ass. I'm sure.
it's
I'm sure it was
it's finna
what
be
saved his ass.
on
Oh
and popping.
damn.
He's not going anywhere.
I'm gonna go back and watch the tapes on this guy so that I'm ready next time. I'm gonna be
He's gonna
so
run the tapes
fucking
back.
ready.
He's
I'm running the
I'm gonna
tapes.
watch tape.
Yeah.
Running the tapes, man, for sure.
Check for
Oh.
weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
That's great. Shiv, thank you so much. What a fun session this was. A lot of great RP. You guys are so much fun. Thanks to the chat for having a blast with us. We appreciate all your generosity and support. Let's go around the table and do some outros quick. If you got some things you want to promote, please do that. Let's go ahead and start with Flea Monkey. Let's start with you, my friend. Hey.
Flea Monkey here, up in here. Shelly, hey, it's Flea Monkey on Threads and Instagram. I don't have a lot to say about what I am doing except for this Tuesday, right? Shadows of Greyhawk, another 2-part finale for the first arc of the summer, which I am looking forward to. A little smashing with Goldie. Otherwise, here next Saturday, to finish this up. This is pretty amazing. Thank you, Shiv. This is like the best storytelling and cliffhanger since the last cliffhanger we had here
It's the last
on
one.
Tales of the Whisperwoods.
So many cliffhangers. Love it.
It's cliffhanger after cliffhanger. You get a cliffhanger.
You get a cliffhanger. You get a cliffhanger. I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody
Shell,
look
thank
under
you
the
so
seat.
much.
Get
Cliffhangers
a
and hip
cliffhanger.
sacks.
Boom.
Lousy in here.
That's it.
That's right. Yeah, awesome, Shelly. Thank you so much for being here. Let's jump over to Ian. Your boy Big.
Oh, that's me. What's going on, everybody? I'm Ian. I'm your boy Big. I played Fenric. If you want to know what I'm doing, just pick a social, type in YABOIBIG, and you'll find out what I'm doing. There's a lot of random stuff that's going on, so it would be too long for me to list right now. But like I said, follow the socials. You'll see what's going on. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Ian. It's always fun to play games with you. Appreciate you very much. And let's jump next to Tony.
Bonjour. I'm Tony, and I am
Suddenly
very
French.
happy to be here and be part of this insane storyline once again. And we'll get him this time, boys. We'll bloody get him this time, I swear. Yes, you can find me on pretty much everywhere as Tony Shaw, because that is my name. I have a link tree, which I have not sent Dave, which is why it's not readily available in the chat, because I'm bad at updating people. But if you want to get a link tree / Tony Shaw, that's literally it. And you can find all the socials that I'm on and do, and also a varying list of other things that I do. On Thursdays, I am over on the Ampersand D20 channel for Homebrew Havoc, although I haven't been for the last couple of weeks because I've been busy in foreign countries and then also performing, working. So sorry. But I'm also going to be here again next week, as Shelley says, because we're going to kill him. We're going to kill the Wolf King. We're going to destroy him. Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him, boys. So yes.
Got him, boys.
Got him, boys.
No more kings, am I right? Shiv, let's jump over to you, my friend.
I'm right. Hello, yes, I'm Shiv. I've been your humble dungeon master for this evening. You can find me everywhere at IO Shiv across all social media platforms. Go check out Homebrew Havoc. I'm with Tony. Come see us next Saturday for the potentially final part of Whisperwoods. We shall see. And go check out Two Kobolds and a Trench Coat, a podcast I do where we talk about this week a dream setting as a GM if you want to run. So go check it out. Go listen to it. We talk about it all.
Amazing. Shiv, thank you so much for continuing to bring your creativity to this story and setting up the pieces so we can knock them down. That's what we love.
Die trying.
Or die trying. We love you, Shiv, very much. So it's just a pleasure to have you in this orbit. And same to everybody else who's been hanging out with us in the chat, y'all. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate all of you. We hope that you are staying safe, being good to yourselves and others. We're going to raid into some friends of ours here, but before we leave, I just want to remind folks that we have next Tuesday, as Shelley mentioned, we'll be back with the Shadows of Greyhawk. Phantom and Jay is going to be joining us for his birthday. We've got Anna B. Meyer, we've got Shelley, we've got Andy G3D, we've got Jose Ortiz and myself. It's been absolutely ridiculous. The party broke me last week, and we'll see what happens this coming week. Who knows?
To be fair, you broke yourself.
That's true. I said something really weird and everybody called me out on it. It was wonderful. We had a lot of fun, so go back and check the tapes. But we'll be playing this Shadows of Greyhawk throughout the summer as part of the Summer of Siege with a promo and collaboration with our friends at Troller Games. So big shout out to Troller Games for sponsoring that stream. And you guys, this is the biggest thing since sliced bread. New of Arden. Am I right? New of Arden. We've been running this actual play New of Arden. We're almost done with the first arc. We're going to be coming back in July with more New of Arden. It is the summer of New of Arden, y'all. There's been some absolutely great progress, and you can now get the game, Nuvarn, over at Drive Through RPG. I'm going to
Ooh.
go ahead and put the link in the chat, my friends, because this is the biggest news that you'll hear all day. Well, it's big news nonetheless, but here's the link. Go get it. You can pick it up. You can get a hard copy. You can get a digital copy. This is a game that was developed, created. It's the brain nugget, the masterpiece from our good friend, Dungeon Mr. Ty, who is just a fantastic person and a very creative person as well. This game's really fun. I think most of the people on the screen here have played it at some point. If you haven't, you want to, it's amazing. So go check it out. Please support Ty and Adventure Slang Productions. Grab that book. We will be back on Thursday with that game. So you're gonna wanna show up for that. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm gonna kick it over to the end screen, but hold on for just a minute and we're gonna find a raid target. Thank you everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday. And oh yeah, we're gonna do the thing. All right, ready? Here we go.